Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. We just visited the Redeemed Christian Church of God Church here in Romford, and we came to bring them the truth of who they are according to the Bible. So now, if you're telling me what we're saying is wrong, remember, we're divided as Africans, Caribbeans. Who are we as a nation? Because the name African comes from a white man, Leo Sciffiel's Africanus. Who are we? Who do we descend from biblically? That's my question to you, sir.
We descended from biblically?
Yes, sir.
If you were to ask me that, I would say we descended from Ham. Who are the three sons of Noah? Can you tell me?
Yes, Ham, Shem, Japheth.
No, Ham was not one of them.
Okay, get me Genesis chapter 10, please.
Sorry.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood.
Sorry.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro.
We are still going to take some time, to do some things, but I'd like to call on our brothers. They've been with us from the very beginning of this wind rush. They've been the first program, the second program, and the final one. They are here, and then they are very passionate young people. If you give them 24 hours, they can keep talking. But we don't have 24 hours to speak. So we've got to make it brief. And then, I'll be calling on Pastor, to share one or two things with us, after them, And I hope we're not just going to dwell on the Bible, because this is a church. I'm a pastor. And there are many pastors here.
Right.
So the words, wouldn't be completely new. But what we want is, how do we impact our young people positively? That's very, very important. You are young people, and it's on that score I want you to, and like I said, we've been together, so I want us to, be deliberate in the area we go, in the tangent. Okay?
All right, all praise. So my name is Azar, this is Joshua. Okay, we represent Israel United in Christ. And as Pastor David mentioned, the question of the day, how do we impact the youth, right? So in answering of that question, one of the most important things that has been brought up and addressed today is the unifying of the nation. Okay, and one thing that's happened to us as a nation, get me Zephaniah 2:1. One thing that's happened to us as a nation, we've been divided into many different things. Religions, nationalities. If we're divided in small things like this, when we talk about coming together in building as a nation, we cannot do it, because, like my sister was saying, one side says Jamaican, one side says Nigerian, but we're one people. We're all one. Do you understand? So if we're divided in things like nationalities, okay, it's very hard to gather together in things like and able to build ourselves in the community. Just like when we're talking about the Asian communities and we're talking about others, they come together as Asians, as Indians, right? They come together, and that's one nationality. When it comes to us, we're split into Trinidad, Tobago, Ghanaians. It's so much. Read Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So a solution of what the issue is, we have to gather together as a nation. Remember, it says nations, it says nation not desired. And remember, like our sister said, when she first came over, sitting on a bus, the woman got up, working, showing what? These are things of showing why we are not desired as a nation. Even in the university that you said you went to, there was not many of our people there. Even when you was mentioning earlier regarding you wanting to teach, you teach the other communities things, but in our communities, we don't do these type of things ourselves. We are not desired from the other nations, and we're not desired from our own people, is what I'm trying to say. Read it again.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So the first solution is to gather together as a nation. Okay, get me Isaiah 1 and 3. So in order for us to gather together as a nation, we need to understand who we are as a people. What's our nationality? Who do we identify as? Are we Jamaicans? Are we Trinidadians? Are we Nigerians? Are we Ghanaians? Who are we as a nation? Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
So the Bible's saying an ox knows his owner, an ass knows his master's crib, knows where he belongs. But there's a nation in the Bible that are called Israel that don't know nor consider that they are the Israelites. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into certain verses to identify who the Israelites are biblically. Okay, get me Deuteronomy 28 verse 46. All right, so we're going to go into the scripture and show who the Israelites are biblically. And again, in coming together and understanding our nationality is going to help us come together and build in our communities, because we all have the same mindset of who we are and we have all the same goal in the end. If we don't know where we're coming from, it's hard to help knowing where we're going. So first we have to go into history and find out who we are as a nation, then we can move forward as a nation. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So as you read the book of Deuteronomy 28, it talks about curses and blessings. Okay, when 15 down talks about the curses, and now that verse is saying those curses were going to be upon the Israelites for a sign. All right, so for example, the Winwas 75 anniversary conference is a sign that tells us what this is. The sign of the curses tell us who the Israelites are biblically. Verse 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
So one of the signs of who the Israelites are, they will have to go and serve another nation for food, clothing, and water, and have yokes of iron put upon their neck until we were destroyed. Now, sir, yes, you, sir. What country are you from? Nigerian. Did this happen to the Nigerians? Did this happen to the Nigerians? Serve another nation for food, clothing, and water, and have yokes of iron upon their necks. That happened to the Nigerians. My sister, where are you from?
Same Nigeria.
I'm Nigeria. Where are you from? Nigeria? Nigeria?
St. Lucia, Jamaica.
St. Lucia, Jamaica. Did that happen to the St. Lucians and the Jamaicans?
Sorry, what's the question?
So we just read it again for my sister.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
So again, we're reading the signs to identify Israel. Now, one of the signs is they will go and serve another nation for food, clothing, and water, and have yokes of iron put upon their neck. We just identified it happened to the Nigerians. Now, did it happen to the St. Lucians and Jamaicans? It happened, right? So remember, these are the signs. I'm going to bring out one more sign, verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So as a nation, from Nigeria to the St. Lucia to Jamaicans, did we go into slavery on ships and serve another nation and be bondmen and bondwomen? Did that happen to us? That happened. So remember, these are the signs to identify the Israel. Remember, God says, Israel don't know nor consider. Before this day, I'm going to ask the question, before this day of rereading this and me making a statement of the children that went through this are the Israelites, did you consider you as an Israelite? But that's what God said. God says, my people don't know nor consider that.
I'm sorry, I want to be very polite.
Pastor David?
But no.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Is it because
Yes, sir.
I'm a pastor?
Yes, sir.
What you're saying is not theologically correct. And I'll prove it to you it's not theologically correct.
Okay.
So let me tell you, there was a nation of Israel born out of Abraham. Genesis chapter 12 made it very clear. And God said specifically to Abraham, long before the nation of Israel went into captivity, that they will go into captivity. God said it clearly. You see, that's why, the previous sessions have just been quiet, but I've had a talk with one or two people after the last session you guys came for.
Yeah, Songs of Solomon
and they
105.
felt that, we need to also engage with you.
Okay.
Honestly. And
Okay.
let you know. You see, the truth about it is, the nation of Israel had always been. You understand? We, who are of African descent, you can trace it, to the three children of Noah. Mm-hmm. You understand? You can easily trace it to them. We know the Shemites.
Okay.
The Shemites race, they are the people who write from right to left. Those are the, Asians, the people from Israel and all this Egypt and all that. They are the Shemites. Then we know those who are of Ham, and we know those who are Japhet.
Okay.
Japhet tribe, they are those of Europe. You see, let me tell you this. This Europe used to be an idolatrous nation years ago. And the Bible is clear about that. All you need to do is read the book of Acts. The book of Acts of Apostles tells us that there was a time they were worshiping idols. And Paul came and even found an idol, and they said, to an unknown God.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.
Now, and he came to Athens and found that, there were gods, and they even have one to an unknown God. There was you know about the Stonehenge? There was a time they went into idolatry. They were into serious poverty. They were down, because any nation that goes into idolatry will be in serious problem. Now, have you ever lived in Africa?
No.
I have lived in Africa for many years. I grew up in Africa, and I can tell you a lot about Africa. And I can tell you that the problem of Africa is idolatry. You see, in Africa, you have more than 1,000 religions. What I mean is idol worshipping. Do you know about Ifa?
No.
Now, that's a deity that people still worship. So if you hear anybody bearing Fagbenro, you know that they worship Ifa, that deity. Do you know about Shango?
No.
That's the god of thunder. There is god of iron. They worship all manners of gods. Those are the things that has taken Africa and the black race into slavery.
And you see,
No, let me finish.
Okay, roll it. Yeah, roll it.
You need to understand this.
Yes, sir.
Any nation or any group of people that continue to celebrate idolatry will remain in darkness. The Africans who were taken by slavery to Cuba, to Brazil, do not till tomorrow, they are still worshiping, all those idols in those nations. And that's why they continue to be the lowest of the lowest in the place. Let me tell you, even here in the UK, if you go to some parts of Peckham, they do what they call sacrifice. They make sacrifice to false gods. They go to put it on junctions, and the living God is against those things. You need to talk to those of us who came from Africa, who know about idolatry. That's the greatest problem of Africa. That's why Africa, he's from Zimbabwe. Do they do idol worshiping big time in Zimbabwe? Most African nations, any group of people that go after idolatry will become slaves. They will be the renegades. Now, the white people, they accepted Christianity just like Africans accepted Christianity. They go and read the Bible. It's in the book of Acts. Paul, the Romans, go and read, I don't want to start going into what one had been, so that I'm not talking about myself.
Yeah.
But just sufficient to know that I've been a Bible school teacher for years, apart from being a lawyer. And when you read history, you will understand that during the Roman Empire, when the Romans were ruling most of the world, including UK, most part of what we call Europe today, they were in serious idolatry. And when they had the first Roman emperor who became a Christian was Emperor Constantine. And he was the one who now made it to be fashionable. But before then, they were as poor, even poorer than us. The Moors of, who are black North Africans, they ruled Spain. I've been to the enclave in Spain where the Moors, the place they were, and they were the dominant force in Spain. Even in many parts of Europe, there were black who had ruled. History even says, I'm here to confirm that even in England, there was a black person who was like, the person calling the shots. So you see, blacks,
King.
We've had that.
You got the books for that.
Wait a minute, yes. We've had our time. Now, about Jesus, God came in the form of a man. God was neither white nor black. He came as a mixed race. We know that the typical Arab man is not a black man. He was an Arab. He was not a white man. You see, these are things, so we should not get ourselves distracted, from the real thing. You see, the real thing is saying that we are the real Israel. It changes nothing. Because the truth about it,
Yeah.
Wait a minute, the truth about it is that idolatry is still thriving. I'm telling you, when I was growing up, these were things we saw all over the place. Idolatry was a common thing, and it's still being celebrated till today. I don't want to.
Sorry, I thought I'm a baby.
I don't want to, waste too much time. But just take it from me. What God hates most is idolatry. And he has said it. The first, Exodus chapter 20. Can you read verses 1 and 2, please?
Yeah, let's read it from
Exodus 20.
Exodus 20.
20.
Yeah.
20.
Then come on.
Yeah, this is the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse
1 and 2.
All right, 1 and 2. The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Yes.
So you wanted the first commandment.
Verse 2.
Okay, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other God before me.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Now, listen.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and show mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments.
Thank you. So now the point is, the nation of Israel, they were taken into into Egypt because of their disobedience to God. And now when they went in, of course we know this, you know the story, I know the stories in the Bible, that Joseph was sold into slavery, but that's God's way of working. Joseph became the prime minister after Pharaoh in Egypt. Why? Because God's word must be fulfilled. Now there was a famine throughout the world, and he now, when he went from the prison to become the deputy to Pharaoh, he said, Pharaoh, can I bring my parents? Can I bring my brothers and sisters? He brought them into Egypt, and they were living in Goshen. And that was how they multiplied. They became a nation. They came as 70 people, but by the time they were leaving, they were numbering over 1 million people. That's how the nation of Israel came to be. That's how the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, they were the children of Jacob. Now, God told them, after they had spent 430 years in Egypt, God told them, now I'm going to lead you to the promised land, but you must make sure you worship no other God except me. And when they went back there, they started worshiping idols like the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Girgashites. They started doing those things, and God said, I will punish you. That's how Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 that you referred to was one of Moses' last words to the children of Israel, that if you disobey God, he will deal with you. So you see, it has nothing to do with the African race. You see, Christianity came to Africa through the Ethiopian eunuch. Go and read the book of Acts.
Okay.
You see, so you see, we have to put things in perspective, and we should not, jumble things. I admire your zeal.
Can I respond?
But it's important that, you see, Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that does not need to be ashamed. Now take note, rightly dividing the word of truth. 2 Timothy chapter 2:15. Now, we must take the Bible in context, but just picking verses here and there and making them to support a point, it's not useful. And I'm saying this to you, and God knows, this is a church. I pastor this church. This is a church. I'm saying it because I love you. My children are older than you, but I know you are passionate about what you're saying, but honestly, you are in error.
All right, so now,
that's the truth.
So now, my whole point of what I'm bringing up is one of the issues. You said a lot of stuff deterring from the original point, is the identity of the so-called blacks, is one of the issues within our communities, why we cannot unify. So now, if you're telling me what we're saying is wrong, remember, we're divided as Africans, Caribbeans. Who are we as a nation? Because the name African comes from a white man, Leo Schiphil's Africanus, right? So if you're telling me that what I'm saying is wrong, who are we? Because if you're saying we're African, you're saying we come from a white man. Who are we as a nation? No. Oliver, 1 second, because he came and addressed me. So my question is to you. The people of the slave trade, who are we as a nation? Nigerian that was given to us by a white woman in Woolwich. So who are we as a nation of people? Who are we? Who do we descend from biblically? That's my question to you, sir.
Who descended from biblically?
Yes, sir.
If you were to ask me that, I would say we descended from Ham.
Okay, my Bible dictionary, please bring it back.
I got it right here. I got it here.
My Bible dictionary, yes sir. Yes, sir. My brother said we descend from Ham. All right. Okay. Let me show you this.
The significance of that.
I'm going to show you the significance because it's an error. Like you said, we are in error. Now we got the scholars that are going to tell you that's an error right there. Ham. That's the page of Ham. Next page.
Ham is the
son of Noah.
So Ham.
Yes.
Right there.
Ham was the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
So the scholars...
Who are the scholars?
Hold on, let me finish.
No, wait a minute.
Let me finish. The scholars that you learn from is telling us the Negroes do not come from Ham.
Please, listen carefully.
Yes, sir.
I have to take responsibility for what goes on here.
Yes, sir.
Because I pastor here.
Yes, sir.
And I have some of my members here.
Right.
Now, who are the 3 sons of Noah? Can you tell me?
Yes, Ham, Shem, Japheth.
No, Ham was not one of them.
Wow.
Yes.
Get me Genesis chapter 10. Get me Genesis chapter 10. So my Pastor David said, he pastors this church, said Ham is not one of the sons of Noah. Okay, get me Genesis chapter 10, please.
Sorry.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
So we have to study to show ourselves approved unto God, rightly dividing the word of truth. Now go back to Ham, please, because he said he's not the son of Noah. We rightly divide the word of truth. Read.
Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro,
not the slaves,
but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
So Ham is not the father of those that was brought in slave ships. He's not the father of the Nigerians. He's not the father of the Ghanaians. He's not the father of the Jamaicans. He's not the father of the Trinidadians. He's not the father of them. He's the father of the Hamitic, the the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Canaanites. The Israelites come through Shem.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.